he could see the sun coming up. So he had also, like the eagle did, he had a 90 degrees, I guess that is. He could see much more than we could see. Completely, all the way around, he could see on both sides. And here again, how do we know what a fish sees? And he was watching this out of the one eye, it was still night, and out of the other eye, it was the sun rising. And he was also enjoying himself. It was a wonderful thing. No have to do anything. He just floated around and swam and eat fish. There was nothing he had to do, no place he had to be. Well, it's kind of like a paradise to some people, I think. But when I was in Hawaii in February this last year, 2005, I was talking to this man who was taking people out to swim with the dolphins. He's an expert on it. He's a Hawaiian, and he said he has been with the dolphins all his life. He said a lot of people don't realize that when a dolphin is asleep in the water, they keep one eye open the whole time. And sometimes they will alternate which eye it is. This is in case of danger. They don't want to go to sleep altogether because of predators. So they will keep one eye open as they're sleeping. I thought that was very interesting, and maybe it would explain why the one eye he could see darkness, but it was also because the sun was rising. So this was fascinating with this man being the dolphin. But I had another woman come to me. This woman, she looked like a walking skeleton. She was so thin, like she had no fat on her at all. I mean, it was just like skin over bones, and she looked terrible. And she said that she had almost died 3 times, and the doctor said there was something wrong with every organ in her body. They couldn't understand how she was even alive. And she'd almost died 3 times, so I told her, well, apparently it's not your time to go yet if you haven't died during those things. But she was very unhappy, very depressed, and you can imagine just a very miserable person. So when I took her back, she went to a lifetime where she was a sea creature. But she was on a water planet where it was just nothing but water. There was no land. She was on this water planet, and she was a creature in the water. And it was similar to a dolphin, probably as close as you could get, as close as she could describe. And it was just wonderful, floating around and swimming in complete freedom. Didn't have any responsibilities at all, and it was just a wonderful life. Well, as it happens in many of these cases, they stay too long as one species, as one creature, I guess you would say. The lesson has been learned a long time ago, but they're enjoying themselves so much that they don't want to leave that life. So they would rather stay there enjoying complete freedom. Well, the powers that be would have to intervene in a case like that, because it would be like, okay, you're not learning anything. You learned all what it's like to be this sea creature. Now you're going to have to go with a life that has more responsibility, a life where something else is happening to learn you a different kind of lesson. So she was taken out of the sea world, her soul, her spirit, and she was put into the human body. Through a succession, she ended up in this body she had now. Well, when we got to the subconscious part, it was very obvious she was extremely unhappy. She didn't want to be a human. She didn't want to have the responsibility. She longed for the freedom that she had as the sea creature. It was not what she wanted. She didn't want to be a human being confined to a body. So, what was she trying to do? She was trying to destroy the body she was living in. Not consciously. All of this always happens on a subconscious level. She was trying to destroy the body that she was living in. by making something happen to all of the organs in the body, hoping that eventually she would be able to get out of the body. And as I was talking to her about it, I said, well, then what? You can't go on until you have learned the lesson that you're here for. Don't learn the lesson, you're going to have to repeat it. You don't get out of this school that easily. You're going to have to repeat it again. Wouldn't it be a lot easier just to do it right the first time? And then you won't have to come back and do it again, and maybe the next life will be better. Maybe you'll have it easier. Maybe you'll have more what you expect. But there's no sense in trying to get out of it that soon. So after a lot of arguing, I finally got her to agree, all right, I can't go back to being the freedom-loving sea creature that she longed to be. I'm going to have to be a human. And she was going to have to learn the lessons of a human. And then she agreed, all right, then I will do this. Of course, people don't realize all of this until they wake up and we talk about it. And then I give them the tape, and they listen to the tape. But in this case, I had to go back to the city a few months, I think it was about maybe 3 or 4 months later, to speak at a Unity church in that area. And she came to see me again, and she looked a lot different. She was finally beginning to put on some fat, not fat, you know what I mean. She was beginning to fill out this skeleton-type body. She was beginning to look more human, and she said she was feeling a lot better, and the organs were operating the way they were supposed to. Of course, the doctors say it was probably the medicine they were giving her was finally beginning to take effect. But at least it showed she was accepting the fact she was going to have to stay here. She was going to have to be a human. It was going to be gradual because there was so much damage had been done to all the organs. So each one had to be repaired little by little and slowly. Some of these things cannot be done immediately, because it would be too traumatic to the body. I've had instantaneous cures, but many of them have to be done slowly. In this case, it had to be. There was no other way the body could begin to function again. So these were cases where these people were fun-loving creatures. Well, after you go through all of the lives of being plants, of being animals, in between those lives are the nature spirits, the ones who take care of the plants and the ones that take care of the animals. These are called the little people, the fairies, the leprechauns, the gnomes. All of these are very real. They're the ones that take care of the plants and the animals, and we have them in every culture in the world. Every culture in the world has nature spirits. They call them dryads, nymphs, whatever you want to call them. They all have nature spirits that take care of the plants and the animals. Now, we have all been these things too. We have all been the fairies and the elves, the ones who take care of nature. And I was told one time, it said, don't discredit the importance of the nature spirits, the fairies and the little people, because when the earth changes come, they will have a very important role in helping the world adjust as they get to that point. So we have all been these many different things. After you move, and I've had people go to lifetimes when they were fairies and taking care of nature, so it's like nothing is a surprise. But after you have gone through the lives of being the animals, then you have to go to being a human. Now, the animals have a different type of a soul than a human does. I found the animals are more considered to be a group soul, much like a herd of cattle, a hive of bees, or a colony of ants. They move as a unit. They think as a unit. So, in order to become human, you have to move out of that group soul. You have to pull away from that group soul. How do you do that? How do you pull away so you can evolve into a human being and begin to go up the ladder? It's all done through love. Love is the answer to everything. And if you take a dog or a cat, any other animal, remove it from the herd, the group soul, bring it into your home, care for it, you give it a personality, you give it an individuality, you pull it away from the group, you make it become an individual, a personality. By doing that, you are doing wonderful things for that animal, because the next time it is reincarnated, it will be as a human. You're pulling it away from the group soul, which may not be a good thing, because then you get into the humans, you have a lot of lessons to learn also. But I think that's going to be enough for tonight. When we get into the human lessons, it can even be more complicated. I thought I wasn't going to have enough time to cover all of this, because there's a lot of other lives you can live besides these. But I think it's important to know about these. If we all understood we are part of everything, we have been everything, we have been the air, the earth, all parts of nature, we have been the plants, we have been the animals, then we can see we are all one. All of nature, all of the environment, we are all one. We are not separate. I think if we realize this, we would take better care of our world. We would take better care of the environment, because we realize it is us. We're not separate from it. Anything that damages nature damages us, because we are all one. I found the earth itself is a living being, and it responds in pain with what's being done to it. So they said it's just like a dog, fleas. Eventually it's going to shake off the fleas if you irritate it too much, which is what is happening right now with the earthquakes and the tsunamis and the volcanic eruptions. The earth has had enough, and we're going into earth changes. But all of these are topics for future talks anyway. But I think I have covered enough tonight, and then we'll see what's going to happen next week. All right, but anyone who wants to contact me can do so with our website, www.ozarkmt.com. The name of my company is Ozark Mountain Publishing. So it's abbreviated on our website, ozarkmt.com. And you can look on there on the schedules and see where I'll be speaking and about the classes and the different things that are going on. You can also call the office. All the books are listed on the website too, but you can call the office at 1-800-935-0045. 1-800-935-0045. Or you can contact me directly with email at decannon, C-A-N-N-O-N, at msn.com. If you want to find out about sessions, private sessions, I have an office here in Huntsville, Arkansas. Or if you want to find out about the classes. All right, let's have a good evening. Good night.
You have been listening to BBS Radio, a blogandservice.com production and a service to others endeavor. Thank you very much for tuning in to our radio program, and we wish you much peace and joy on your journey.